Hey, I'm Renan Costello. If I haven't met you, I'm the Chief Business Relations Officer for the Engler program. Basically, I like to consider myself a Tom Field in training, so I'm working on telling my stories. But right now, I want to help you understand the evolving Engler model. This is what we've come to refer to as our secret sauce. So this video is designed to outline our new and what we believe is a transformational educational model for entrepreneurship. So by the end of this video, you should understand our model at a high level and how you can leverage this model to maximize value for your own future. Um, we are building an additional video that discusses kind of our why, the vision for our program, the culture that supports the Engler program, and the outcomes that we're aspiring to create. And there's also a number of other resources that we're building to put on our website to help explain what we are trying to build here at Engler. So it'll have an FAQ and some fact sheets to help you, including information on our classes and how credits are assigned. So be sure to check that one out. We want you to know that this is your program and everything that we do is to create value for you. So if you have some questions or concerns, you just want to chat, please come talk to us. Miller Hall is a very quiet, lonely place without you. So before I dive headfirst in, I want to talk about just a few major keys that we need to understand if we want to understand what this educational model is. We are not your traditional college program. So our model is not based on your class standing, the traditional grading model, nor a top-down, one-size-fits-all rubric. We don't have a super structured curriculum that we just run every student through. Instead, we believe that you are unique, and thus we wanted to build a unique program for you. Our model creates a laboratory around you as the entrepreneur, with you in the driver's seat. So you decide where your education is going. Therefore, to understand us, you have to let go of the old model. In our model, you have to take ownership of the education process. Secondly, this is a focus on launching enterprises. The focus of our model is empowering our students to launch a business. The focus is not to simply learn concepts. It's not just to think entrepreneurially or just write stuff on paper. The focus is launching a real business. It's about action. It's about moving, it's about trial by fire, it's about failing and learning with the goal for our students to launch a business while in college. Look, Scott Frost wouldn't be successful with players who stand on the sidelines. The women's volleyball team didn't win another national championship by listening to a set of lectures and watching some instructional videos. Winning requires that you get in the game, take some risks, and make something happen. We certainly take preparation seriously, but at the end of the day, we believe that starting your enterprise trumps everything else. Now, in this is that commitment is required. To launch a business, we have to have students committed to the start. Part of what we've designed requires you to commit and set yourself up to really launch something. You don't have to do it right away, but please know that the advanced aspects of this model that we've built are for students who are committed to launching a business and launching an enterprise. And we know that might not be for everyone, and we'll talk more about that in the model. The next is that this is custom made. So we have tried to make this customizable to our students. Look, the way that the current Western education is set up, something is somewhat like it's like an assembly line. Everyone moves forward at the same speed, is supposed to complete their education in the same time frame, etc. In essence, the current system is set up much like a commodity approach to learning. We don't think the old model works in today's world and certainly misses the mark for entrepreneurs. We've designed our system to be customizable so you can move through it at a speed that works for you. We'll push you to keep moving, but we understand that students are not number 2 dent corn, and you can create a custom experience that fits for you in our new model. Next, and finally, this is an experiment. This is a big change for Engler and a really big change to the way that we teach entrepreneurship to collegiate students. So all of this model is experimental and we're adapting to it as we go. It's not going to be perfect right now, but know that each semester we're updating and improving our model. So your feedback during this time is very valuable and it helps us improve this as we go. So keeping those major concepts in mind, let's actually dive into the model. So our model is built on 3 camps or phases that a student moves through, with the ultimate focus being building businesses. To develop these camps, we relied on the entrepreneurial experiences of our staff, the knowledge of the entrepreneurs that we deeply respect, including our current students, our alumni, advisory board members, and thought leaders in the world of entrepreneurship. So we relied on some really smart people to try to build this model for you. So what I want you to do when you think about these 3 camps is imagine the way that a climber would attack Mount Everest. So they don't just go straight up, they actually ascend through a series of camps. And they spend time at each one of those camps, and they're designed to acclimate them and prepare them for the ultimate goal of reaching the summit. So our system is built on such a concept. Here's the summit that we are ascending at each of our camps along that period. So we start with the Explore camp, we go to the Build camp, and we finish with the entrepreneurship camp, which is really about launching that business. So each of these are important, and each is designed to create value. We're recognizing that the route to the top will be somewhat different for each climber or different for each entrepreneur. So now let's talk about what each of the camps actually look like. So we'll start with the Explore camp. So the Explore camp, this is where all the inspiration starts. So the Explore camp is open to anyone to be a part of it if they have any interest in Engler or in entrepreneurship in general. There's no requirements to get in. The camp is designed as an exploratory time, a time to play and experiment with minimal risk. Students explore the mindset of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. They test fundamental entrepreneurship concepts like negotiation, wealth, and customer discovery. And they get to experiment with entrepreneurship through like a startup weekend or a $50 business. At the end of this camp, students should understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur, have a deep knowledge of our Engler mindset, and they can decide and know, is entrepreneurship and starting a business for them or not. Next, they get into the Build camp, where students are validating and testing their business ideas. So the Build camp is all about moving from a list of business ideas to a validated, tested, ready to go plan for your business. The Build camp is all about action. Talking to potential customers, listening to business mentors, finding a good problem solution fit. We've got specific space in our building now built out for these students, and we're building a really strong community around these builders who are working together to validate their business ideas. Students leave this camp knowing that they have a business idea that will work in the market. And once they've validated it and tested it, they enter the final camp, which is the entrepreneurship camp. And this is really where you launch and you grow your business. This is the final preparation before you reach the summit. This camp is the launch pad that moves your business from just this idea or on paper into reality. Engler provides resources, support, motivation, and community around students who are in this phase and working really hard to launch and scale their businesses. We bring in community experts and coaches who help move these students forward. Students leave this camp with a real functioning business in the market. So here's the 3 different camps that we have set up that we want our students to move through. What's also interesting to look at is we've designed this to kind of look like a funnel, meaning that we are extremely open at the beginning of the program and of the model. Anyone who has any interest in entrepreneurship enters the Explore camp. As they enter the Explore camp, we know that some will understand that entrepreneurship just isn't for them, and that's okay. For those who really know that entrepreneurship is for them and they want to start a business, they're welcome to enter the Build phase, and through a process where we assess if a student is committed and ready for the Build camp. As they validate their business ideas, they move into the Entrepreneur camp. And here the business is really moving and operating. So to move between these separate fields, we have what we call a commitment checkpoint, where we assess if the student's really ready to start a business. And we have a validation checkpoint, where we see if they've actually truly validated their business or not. It's all about moving through the funnel to get to that summit, to really launching and growing and running a business. Model. We describe each of those camps in more depth and some resources on our website if you really want to know what happens in each one of them, so be sure to check that out there. So to wrap up, we think that this model will be powerful. We think it's going to empower you to really take control of your education. And if you're interested in entrepreneurship, that this is the place for you. So we hope it's going to be memorable. We think it's going to be really impactful, and we think it's going to really help people start businesses. However, we want to make sure that we understand and that we know this is not going to be for everyone. If you want to learn more about entrepreneurship, but you're not really ready to start a business, or you have limited time flexibility while you're in college, we understand that, and we've outlined an adjusted pathway through our program. And that's going to be outlined in a resource on our website on how to still be a part somewhat of the Engler program and learn more about this entrepreneurship. You're not going to get the level of intensity and in-depthness of going through a model, but there's still a pathway for you. And so be sure to check out that resource. If you just want an easy minor without much work, this isn't the place for you. If you just want to write a business plan, but you never really want to start something, Engler is probably not a good fit. And if you don't really know how to sweat or risk or fail, this probably is not going to work out. But if you have an idea for a business that you want to pursue, if you want a community built around people who are starters, and if you have any sort of inkling towards entrepreneurship, really, if you want to use your college experience for building and starting an enterprise rather than just accumulating a bunch of hours on O Street, or if you have this fire in your belly to start a business, this place is for you. Get in contact with the staff members to talk more about it or for more information. We hope that you'll get in the boat and join us. Thanks.